FM station. Don't touch that dial, because while you may miss those golden oldies, we've got an even goldener older for you.
We've got the olden goldies.
You got the
Golden grams, 8 years old. Forgot them in the cupboard last year.
They don't make them really
8 years
anymore.
ago.
They don't really make them anymore, so you should eat them.
No, they don't make them good anymore, that's for sure. You remember the Golden Girls?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bad show.
Was it?
I just don't think I was the target demographic.
That is understandable. It definitely came out when I was Sesame Street age.
So I was more into stuff like that.
Yeah, I was into stuff where it was like buy-in for kids, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like Pokemon.
Why don't you present the show by letters more?
Yeah.
Golden Girls.
Come on. Expand your demographic audience.
But eventually I grew up and I started to appreciate more complex shows.
Yes.
And now I appreciate maybe the most complex of all the shows.
Now, what show is that?
That's the show Lost, everybody.
Everybody, the prestige drama Lost.
The Prestige.
The final.
The movie.
The movie, The Prestige, was split into 121 hours for a television show.
Uh-huh.
And
Have you ever seen The Prestige?
A long time ago. That's a Nolan one, right?
It's sort of got the same weird vibes as Lost does.
It's got like, what's the mystery? Whoa.
Who is the man?
How could they
Magic
do it?
Magic and science
What?
brought together at last. It's sort of like the science of magic, but also the magic of science.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Lost is.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Both are about a plane crash, and both I don't like to think about for too long.
Yeah. Lost?
Lost.
Well, I regret to inform you that we are on our 69th hour thinking about this show.
That's true, and we've got many hours. We've got a mere 52 hours left to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not that much.
Not that much.
Only a year.
Less than when we started, for sure. We're staying steadfast, strong, and true. We're staying strong here in the face of Lost, and all its splendor and glory and madness.
We all experience Lost in our lives.
Yeah. Listen.
Whoa, you know what we should do next?
What's that?
If we ever finish this show, after we finish this show, we'll watch it in Spanish, and the podcast will be called Lost in Translation.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I guess that's all right.
And we've already seen the show, so we won't have subtitles or anything, but we'll have to guess.
We'll have to figure it out. We'll have to be like, oh yeah, this is when Sun and Jin had that problem.
Yeah.
And we'll have to be like, that's when our friend Sawyer did a little con and said something funny.
He conned and he fucked.
He conned and he fucked, as he loved to do.
It's just what Sawyer does.
We don't get much Sawyer in this episode, though.
Do we get any?
We get a very small amount. He's hanging out with Locke.
It's not about him. Who's it about?
Why? It's about...
Ayada.
It's a friggin' about Hurley.
Hurley the Nurley. Hurley, don't give him a swirly. Hurley, Bo Burley, Hugo Reyes, our favorite character.
Everyone's favorite character. And you know that it's everyone's favorite character because not only is the episode called Everybody Loves Hugo, but the very first thing that happens in the episode is you hear the Dharma man give a voiceover saying, in this world of turmoil and strife, there is only one thing that we can all agree upon. Everybody loves Hugo. Accompanied by a slow fade into a still image of Hugo Reyes.
It's so fucking weird.
It's maybe the tightest moment of season 6 ever.
It's the loosest moment of season 6 ever. Because I brought this up in the thing. So they're in their alternate universe.
Yeah.
Where everything is just slightly different. Kate's still a criminal.
Yeah.
But everyone is still the same age, except for this Dharma man who for some reason is 40 years younger than he should be.
Yeah, he's still in 70s times, and he's here.
Yeah, exactly. He was like 45 in the 70s, and now he's here, and he has not aged a blip.
No, he has not.
So they just... I don't know what the writers were doing in this show. Did they just forget things? Are they forgetting?
They didn't know. I mean, I feel like we should just start with the alternate stuff this week because there's a lot to unpack there.
It's cranked.
It's very cranked.
It's fun.
It's fun, but it's definitely cranked. So the twist of Hurley's alternate reality is that he still got all that money. But instead of being cursed by it, he invested it in a chicken shack company, and then from all that money, invested it in even more philanthropy.
Yeah, he's a big old philanthropist. That's why everyone loves him.
This is conveyed to us exposition style through a slideshow given by the Dharma Man.
Yeah.
And they're giving this presentation at an award show to honor Hugo Reyes.
For some fucking award.
He won the most money given to us award.
Yeah, totally.
It's a thanks for the money award.
And then he says, thank you for the award, and he walks out, and who's there with him but his trusty sidekick, Mom. Mama is there, and she says, Hugo, what do? You can't find a lady. And Hurley goes, oh, Mama, I got you. And she slaps him.
This is ridiculous. Hugo is out here, actively transforming the world and making it a better place. And his mom is like, you gotta. One priority only.
Get yourself a lady, you idiot, Hugo.
You got to get yourself a lady.
Hugo, out and get one right now.
And Hugo gets depressed about this and decides to go to Spanish Johnny's for a blind date.
His mom sets him up on
Right, that's what it is. His mom sets him up.
He's not just like, what should I do? Another blind date at Spanish Johnny's.
You ever just, look, we've all had, moments in these tough times. Sometimes you just find yourself in a spiral of blind dates.
Yeah. At Spanish Johnny's every time.
Every time at Spanish Johnny's.
And everyone just falls for Johnny.
Nobody.
And his burritos.
Nobody falls for Mito.
If that's your name, I can understand why nobody falls for you. It's what is your name? Just meat with an O on it? Mito. That's who you are? You're Mito? Are you kidding me?
That's my name. I'm proud of it.
We must name our firstborn Mito Jr. Don't worry, it's a unisex name.
It'll roll off the tongue no matter the gender. Don't you worry.
Mito, like Guido, but with meat.
I don't like Mito. I would not enjoy the company of a Mito. I don't think.
A Mito.
But I would enjoy the company of a Hurley. And
who?
Hurley.
Hurley, oh yeah.
Hurley's
but his blind date doesn't seem to think so.
No.
Because he's eating the free chips and he's like, don't worry, she's coming.
Give me another round, baby. And so what ends up happening is he gets approached by a stranger.
Not just any stranger.
Not just any stranger. Libby.
Bill Murray.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders walks up and says, tax Amazon, and then leaves.
Yeah. So it was some advertising by Bernie.
Yeah.
He paid lost.
He really was. People act like this Bernie guy came out of nowhere in 2016. He's been putting the work in.
Yeah,
let me tell
exactly. Early on.
Cameoing in Lost. That's it.
Just that one. Well, he hit the nail on the hammer with the first show he tried.
He did it, and he was like, one and done, baby.
But
now all I gotta do is push this country's politics a little further left, and then I'm good.
Bernie.
Oh, Bernie. Well. Anyways, so
Libby comes up after that.
Libby comes up, and Hurley's like, this is an alternate reality, so I definitely don't know who you are. Are you supposed to be my blind date? I guess, oh, you're not? Oh, no. Oh, well. Well, I don't know you, so who are you? And Libby says, listen, you may not know me, but I know you. I remember you. We've met. Hurley, you have to believe me. We've met before. Oh, my gosh. And then along comes a man who says, oh, I'm sorry. She's I guess not feeling
unstable.
Well. She's unstable.
Yeah.
We need to take her back to the stable. She got out of her stable, and now she needs to be stabled again. And so she gets whisked away to a mental institution. God, what's the name of it? I want to say Santa Clara
St. Mungo's
Institute for Mental Health. Yeah, St. Mungo's. St. Mungo's Institute for Mental Health. And Hurley's like, well, what the heck? That was weird.
I guess I'll go eat chicken tomorrow.
Time to go eat a big bucket of chicken. Goes to one of his chains and he orders a big bucket of chicken. Sits down, eats it, and who should spot him? But
Desmond.
But a little Desmondo.
And Desmond in this universe just wears a suit, has these weird transition sunglasses, and smirks at everything.
Smirks at everybody and is just like trying to be the gentle hand that's guiding them to the ultimate truth or whatever. And does it in a very unsubtle and creepy ass way.
I call him the smirking jerk.
He's a bit of a jerk and he loves to smirk.
I'm a bit of a jerk and I love to smirk. Everybody knows when I go to work, I smirk, smirk, smirk all day and smirk, smirk, smirk all night. Smirking makes me feel alright. Smirking makes me feel alive. I haven't smiled in 20 years. He just smirks. He doesn't have a real smile.
He doesn't have a real smile.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that it's cool how in the alternate reality every character finally gets their own theme song that they have to sing every time they show up on camera.
Yeah, I agree completely. So it's so sweet. We've been asking for this from every character except for Charlie for so long.
It's such a fun stylistic flourish.
Don't you like Ben's theme song where he goes, Ben?
It's so melodic. It's catchy. Where were you?
Straight into the point.
Remember when I'm Ben, open bracket, theme of Ben Linus, close bracket, went to the top of the charts for 52 weeks?
It was like the Christmas song in the UK. It was number 2 behind Killing in the Name of. That was a real thing. Do you remember that?
I don't. But
in like 2010, because there's always like the number 1 song as voted by the people in the UK, like during Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, this coveted thing for some reason.
Sure.
And every year, it had been every year for the longest time. It was just the most recent X Factor winner.
Sure.
Which I guess is British.
Yeah, I think that's
and then it got taken over here or something.
Yeah, that's British America's Got Talent, I think.
Okay,
so
it was always the most recent X Factor winner.
Yeah.
And like counterculture got mad, so then people made Killing in the Name of the Christmas the Christmas song.
That's great.
Yeah, everyone really banded together to make Killing in the Name of the Christmas song.
That is outstanding. I love the idea of like gentle countryside like English town that is just like, this is their tradition, is listening to the top songs of the nation. And number one is a song that in the bridge says the cops are Klansmen actually.
Yeah, totally.
Fucking great.
Just Zach De La Roche yelling at you through from 1991.
From 1991 saying, fuck you. I won't do what you tell me.
I won't do what you tell me.
Many times.
Now you're under control.
Can I ask you whose Lost Characters theme song that was?
Killing in the Name of?
Yeah.
The Smoke Monster.
Of course. He was very woke for the time.
Yeah.
So, Hurley's eating chicken and Desmond comes up and says, hello, I'm Desmond. I'm just a regular man and hey, I recognize you. And Hurley's like, you know how you recognize me? I run the friggin' place, buddy. My face is over there and on TV all the time. Go, who do you think you are, Buster Brown? And Desmond says, no. Oh, no, you're not just some jabroni you're not just some philanthropist on the television. You, I recognize from the fated plane flight that we all took.
The plane flight.
Oceanic 815, right? Landed in LAX from Sydney, am I wrong? Yes, this is what I recognize you from. Isn't that...
Were you on the flight?
Were you... Isn't that weird?
Oh, isn't that weird?
What a crazy coincidence.
And then Hurley's like, yeah, I was on that flight. Were you one of it? I'm sad.
I mean, chicken, and I'm trying to live my damn life. Leave me alone. I don't care what flight you were on.
Desmond goes, why are you sad, brother?
And Hurley says, listen, I may have just been pissed at you, but let me tell you, I was on a blind date, And I got stood up. But then this other lady came up and said, I know you from somewhere. And then we get a really, like, a fucking, like, yikes-ass scene where Hurley says, this other woman came up and I really liked her and she seemed to really like me. Problem is, she's crazy. Desmond replies, classy as ever, all women are a little bit crazy, brother. Cool and good to hear. Hurley replies, no, I mean actually crazy, like they were taking her to the loony bin. And it's like, cool. All right.
Just some woke-ass TV.
Yeah, dude. What would Zach De La Rocha say right now?
I don't know, actually.
He would not bother.
Yeah, he would just keep singing his songs.
He'd just keep on keeping on. He'd keep on marching to the beat of his own drum.
Oh, keep on marching to the beat of his own drummer?
Yeah, it's his drummer. It belongs to him.
You belong to me.
Yep.
That's, I think, Taylor Swift said that.
Stole it from Zach.
You belong to me. Can't you see? What if Taylor Swift was a mob boss?
What if?
And whenever someone owes her a debt, she says, can't you see? You belong to me. Oh, you belong with me.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Afraid
okay.
So.
Back to Desmond's
The bit's
weird
dead.
opinions.
The bit's dead. We'll never know what Taylor Swift sounded like as a mob boss. We've got to keep talking about Lost. We're sorry.
Fuck.
We're sorry. We really stepped in it this time.
Buckle up, Buster, because you're about to hear something you don't want to hear.
I'm ready to hear something I don't want to hear.
Oh, we were just going to keep talking about the episode.
Oh, yeah. That's the episode.
That's what people don't want to hear.
People don't want to hear that, and they do want to hear Taylor Swift as a mob boss. So, sweet Desmond comes up and says, listen, here's my advice. If you really think that she's the one, then here's what I think you should do. You should find out where she thinks she knows you from. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just a regular person named Desmond who knows everyone on my flight all the time and loves to pursue them and watch them. That's just me. I'm just a regular guy having a chat with a CEO billionaire philanthropist. Anyways, good luck, buddy. And Hurley says, all right, you know what? You've got something. You've got it. Goes to the mental institution, talks to the doctor and says, I want to see this Libby lady. Bribes a doctor with $100K check.
$100,000. Fucking nuts, bud. How much money you got?
I was going to say Rich Hurley is cool.
Yeah.
Hurley is the only rich person I trust.
Yeah. I trust... Who's that guy from the A&W commercials? Is he rich?
The like man,
yeah,
the man who's constantly like, okay, employees, it's burger time.
He's probably a multi-millionaire, right?
I don't know for sure.
He seems really trustworthy to me.
I'd trust him. I don't know if he's at the threshold of untrustworthy rich.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's doing fine.
He seems like trustworthy middle class.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the reason I go to A&W. I trust him that much.
Do you ever hope to catch a glimpse of him in the wild?
Yeah, obviously, every frickin' day. I hope to look into the mirror and catch a glimpse of him one day.
There's two ways to interpret that. One is that, like, you see him over your shoulder, and then, like, oh, you double take and he's not there anymore. He's with you spiritually. The other interpretation is he's become you.
Well, I've become him.
Oh,
is
you've
what I'm
become
really aspiring to. Because wouldn't that be nice, though, to wake up one day and it's like you lost 40 years of your life, but you are this B-list celebrity. You're B-list Canadian celebrity.
You're the spokesperson for an alright if somewhat overpriced fast food chain.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah, I guess of all, it's a really like low key take on Kafka's The Transformation or whatever it is.
I don't know this.
That's the one where Buddy wakes up and he's a gross bug. And he's like, oh, my life.
I call that buggy.
I call it a bug's life.
Yeah, bug's life. Fuck, I'm Skip. Do you know Kids in the Hall?
I am aware of Kids in the Hall,
And
yes.
do you know, what's his name? Who's the guy? Redheaded guy.
Gosh, not Dave Foley. Bruce
Yeah,
McCullough?
Dave Foley.
Dave Foley, yeah, okay.
He's the main guy in A Bug's Life.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That is very weird. Dave Foley's career is odd.
It is very odd. Oh well, so we established that.
We finally, now that we finally established that Dave Foley has had an odd career, we can progress.
You know what?
No.
I want to officially invite Dave Foley onto the show.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Only Dave Foley, none of the other children of the hall.
No.
Only Dave.
No one else is welcome. Well, hit us up and we'll.
We can negotiate. We're gunning for Dave.
We're gunning for Dave. I want the A Bug's Life guy.
It's got to be the star of A Bug's Life.
But he has to wear an ant's mask. And we'll do it on Halloween, so it'll make sense.
Yeah, of course. That makes perfect sense.
Dave, if you're listening, which I know you are, that guy fucking loves. He doesn't like Lost, but he loves the show.
As many do.
Dave, come here.
Dave, get over here.
Get over here, you idiot.
Get in touch.
Get in touch.
Honestly, Dave, get in touch with our agents, and we'll try to work something out.
Have your people in the business, they say, have your people call my people.
Yeah.
I like to say, have your people look into my people on the door.
And then when I look out of the people,
I'll be like, Dave's people.
Dave's people.
Yeah.
I'll invite them in, and we can get this all sorted out.
Yeah, tea and cookies and a ant's mask. You know how it is.
You know how it is. Just classic showbiz things. Little showbiz things.
Little miracles.
Little miracles worked every day by the people in Hollyweird.
In Hollyweed.
Hollyweed. By the way, happy Weed Day.
This is Weed Day in Canada, everybody. We're taping this on Weed Day. Weed is legal today.
It's legal today. It's no longer a crime.
It's so fucking funny how it's like, it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah, it literally was. I woke up today and now it's here.
It's legal now, and it's like, if I were 16, this would be the best day of my life. I'd be like, holy shit, it actually fucking happened.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, it feels like weed was never illegal.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never faced legal consequences because of weed, and I barely smoke it now, but I mean, I've probably consumed it a couple hundred times.
I've definitely had a moment or two with it, and disclaimer, we are definitely both white, and I do believe that has a significant role to play in our experience with weed.
Yeah.
As more or less not a crime. But yeah, I was also today I was a weed shop is right outside of my office, where I work, and so people were lining up all the way around to get that day one legal dank.
Get that dank fucking kush.
And it was definitely all folks who already had weed.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
you have weed at home.
Yeah,
you probably have weed on your person right now.
Yeah, like you don't I get the novelty, but you don't need it right now today. But also
you don't need to wait an hour in line for this. But then I get it.
It is also I get it. It's like when else are you going to be able to smoke weed for the first time on legal times, right?
Yeah.
Hey, big day! Congratulations to the nation of Canada for finally being a big weed time. And with that, Hurley manages to wrangle up a conversation with Libby. And Libby says, "Do you remember now?" And Hurley's like, "No, I don't." And Libby's like, "Well, I guess I must, I get it. I'm crazy after all. I'm here in the loony bin. But these flashes, they feel so real. They feel like another life to me. They feel like I was." I mean, it's so hard to it doesn't make sense when I describe it, but I was on a plane crash. There was an island. There was 6 whole seasons of it. We were supposed to have a date, I think, and we liked each other, and you were there. But it's all so weird. And Hurley's just like, well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't remember any of that. That all sounds wacky to me. But you interested in going on a date anyway? And like, hey, big move.
Yeah, I love how this just shows how desperate Hurley is for like human connection. That he's like just the lady who like is literally speaking complete nonsense in context, where it's like, I guess it does eventually make sense later, but he's like, well, you're fucking nuts, but let's go out.
Let's give this crazy thing a shot. Why don't we?
Which is fair, I guess. He loves Libby.
He loves.
What can you say? I don't want to stigmatize the relationship.
No, of course. He loves Libby and Libby loves her. So they end up going on a date on a beach, and they have a picnic. And Libby's like, "Wow, it all feels so familiar. You really don't remember? Well, that's okay." And Hurley's like, "Well, listen, I'm having a good time, but, you only like me because you're having these illusions about me. And Libby says, "No, I like you because I like you, Hugo." And then Libby kisses Hugo.
No.
And then
Duh.
and it's all aw. It's an aw moment. First of all, they get to have the date they never had. Which is one of the better uses of the alternate reality that they've done.
It's sweet.
It's a very kind moment.
It gives back to that sad relationship.
And then Hurley also, guess what? The kiss makes him go, wow.
Jogs his goddamn memory.
Jogs his memory, and he remembers his time on the island, too. He remembers, oh, my gosh, there was an island and a plane crash and all this. And it all floods back, and he goes, wow, whoa. And then he says, I remember. I can't believe it. It's all real. You're not crazy. I remember our life on the island. It's real. And then we pan out, and they're who's watching them from afar?
Desmond.
Desmond in a car. Desmond puts on his sunglasses, drives off into the sunset, and says, I did it, baby.
That was good. I made them kiss. I set those two kids up together.
Yeah, baby. I'm the king of swing.
The king of swing, Desmond himself.
Yep.
You may know him from such roles as being drunk on the beach or being drunk on a boat.
And now, finally, he is hooking everybody up in the alternate time.
Yeah.
Well, he does one more thing in the alternate time.
This is the last scene we get in the alternate time.
And in the entire. No, not in the entire episode, but in the alternate time. He goes to.
It is in the entire episode.
No, that's not how the episode ends. I don't think.
Oh.
No, wait, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. Sorry. I'm a big dipshit today, guys. I'm sorry.
You don't know shit.
I've never known shit about shit. So Desmond's at the school where Locke works. Remember how Locke works at a school? Well, Locke works at a school.
Yeah.
Ben works at this school too. He knocks on Desmond's door and says, "Hey, you're being pretty suspicious. What's your deal? You got a kid to pick up or something?" And Desmond's like, don't mind me. I'm just I'm new to the neighborhood, buh." And Ben eventually leaves. And Ben was right to be suspicious because what Desmond ends up doing is revving up his car and running over John Locke.
It's very weird.
It's a weird scene. And then Locke's just lying twitching on the ground, and that's the end of the episode.
That's the episode.
I
don't know why.
I don't know why, really. I think as far as the alternate timeline stuff goes, this is like more watchable than most of it.
Yeah.
Just because Hurley is like an enjoyable enough character.
Hurley is sweet, and the Hurley-Libby like reconnection thing is sweet.
It's sweet, even though it does have like some troubling undertones of not great handling of mental health. But in general, I gotta say, like Hurley does his best, and so does Libby.
So does Libby.
And so does Desmond.
So I don't know if Desmond does.
That's true.
Desmond is mean.
Desmond is very mean.
He kills. Well, he doesn't kill. He tries to kill. He attempted murders John Locke, it seems. Yes.
Hi.
Oh,
Whoa.
there goes the cat.
Special guest Alfie returns to wreak havoc upon our
Oh,
lives.
he's biting the thing.
He's biting something. He's biting a little cube. Get him out of here.
Get out of here. Get out. Go. Go. You and your gang go. Never come back.
You and your gang, we don't want to see you in this town no more, no how. Yeah. As far as alternate stuff goes, it's fine, but it's still also nonsense and nothing.
Yeah. That's what they should call season 6 of the show. They should repackage it as just called Nonsense and Nothing.
I mean, basically more or less not wrong. Speaking of nonsense and nothing, there's a bunch of bullshit that happens on the island.
Totally.
None of it really matters.
None of it matters at all, but let's gloss over it.
Let's just quickly deal into it. The first scene we get is Hugo mourning Libby at Libby's grave, which, love that a woman can die so that Hurley has a reason to be sad.
So he can be sad, yeah. As is tradition.
As is tradition on this prestige television show. And then who does he see but Michael? Michael arrives and says, "Hello, Hurley. you can't blow up the plane. I know everybody wants to blow up the plane to stop the smoke monster from leaving the island, but you cannot do it. I'm Michael, and I'm dead, and I'm a ghost, and I'm talking to you, Hurley. And so Hurley just, and so yeah, a lot of
Okay.
Michael's dead. Smoke monster's trying to leave the island. There's a plane. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
fine.
it. Yeah.
It's not the main thing is that Hurley makes a decision to say, hey, guys, I know a lot of you guys. I know Ricky's bent on blowing up this plane, but I think it's a bad idea. I just don't think it's a good idea. A lady named Ilana is there. Ilana arrived on the Ajira flight, this plane that they're trying to blow up.
Oh, yeah, the second flight.
And we find out that she was sent by Jacob in some capacity or another. And she's saying, like, listen, I've got this bag of dynamite. We got to blow up the plane. It's the only way. We're doing it. I promise you that we're doing it. I'm doing it for you. We're doing it. And then she throws the dynamite bag down. And then guess what?
She explodes.
She goes kablooey.
And it rains Ilana.
It rains Ilana all over the place. And everybody's like, well, now I guess. All right. Like, nobody
Time to go get more dynamite.
Right? Are you sure, gang?
I guess more dynamite. She's dead.
She's dead, but she had all the dynamite. We better get more.
Gotta get more.
Hurley thinks, obviously, no. Bad idea.
Yeah.
No thanks. I don't think dynamite is good. But instead he says, you know what? Let's go get more dynamite. I think dynamite is a good idea, actually. And so what Hurley ends up... So they end up going out to this ship.
The Black Rock.
The Black Rock. We've seen this Black Rock ship a lot of times
It's
lately.
the new protagonist.
We think it's the new protagonist, maybe. It's the ship. It's been there since Ricky came on it.
Yeah, Ricky came on it in like 1702.
And Sawyer's dad died in it. No, Locke's dad died in it.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're there to get some dynamite. And they're like, hey, guess what? How do we feel about this as the new protagonist, guys? And everybody looks around and says, "I like it.
I like it. The Black Rock, pretty good to me.
Pretty good protagonist. We've never had a boat as a protagonist before. It's always been a cast member.
This must last a while, right?
This is probably gonna last a while." And then suddenly they go, "Wait a second. Where's Hurley? Did any of you guys see Hurley?" And then upon the horizon, they see Hurley going, "Go run away!" And then bloom, the whole ship explodes.
The whole protagonist is dead.
Just like that, just when we had finally established a new protagonist, Hurley kills him.
Hurley kills the protagonist, and it's cute. Honestly, it's like, whatever, Hurls, you do you.
It's very cute. It's very sweet and wholesome. Now, some people are pissed, because now they have no more dynamite.
No, all our fucking dynamite's gone.
But this was all what Jacob said to do, according to Hurley. Hurley says, Jacob told me to do this. Jacob said, we don't need dynamite. And there's a split. A very cranked crew splits off and decides, well, we're going to keep blowing shit up anyway. Fuck you, Hurley. Hurley says, we're going to go see Locke, actually. So Ricky, Miles, and Ben decide to leave the gang.
So weird.
Just the classic regular crew. They have tons to talk about. They have so much to say to each other.
It's so weird.
Miles can be like, remember when I asked for $3.2 million? And Ricky can say, remember...
Do you guys remember 1864? I do.
Why don't you guys?
Why don't you remember this? I was born in Spain in the 1600s.
It was wild times, man.
We all learned this 2 episodes ago.
Nobody had phones.
Nobody had phones. And now on the island, everyone has phones.
Everybody has iPhone X's. And they look at them and they say, wow, I love to download apps from the Apple Store.
I have an iPhone X.
How do you like it?
It's the iPhone I had before my current iPhone. It's my iPhone X.
Boo. So that cranked crew takes off, and we're left with a crew of Hurley, Jack, Frank, and Son.
Yeah, Lapidus is here. Don't worry, everybody. We have the pilot.
Don't worry, he's around. He's still here. He's hanging out. He doesn't say a single word all episode.
Yeah.
And but he's there with his big pilot uniform and his big chest hair, and we love to see him.
We love Lapidus.
We all adore him, and we just want to give him a big hug and kiss. And
so we all do that.
We all take turns at giving him a big hug and a big kiss. and patting his head and say, thank you.
Thank you, Lapidus.
Thank you, Lapidus. And so we send him on his way with Sun and Jack and Hurley. Hurley's plan is let's go to see Locke. Along the way, we get a kind of a sweet scene, clumsily written as much as season 6 is, but a kind of a nice scene between Hurley and Jack, where Hurley says, "Listen, I know I've been saying that I can see dead people. I didn't see Jacob that way. To just now.
I made that up.
I made that up. I just made that up. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. Is this a bad idea? What are we doing?" And Jack just says, like, "Listen, I trust you, dude. This is me trusting you. I know I'm usually the leader type, but I let a lot of people die when I was a leader. So why don't you take care of it?"
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And it's all right. It's fine.
Then what do? They go and see Locke.
They meet up with Locke.
Yeah.
They find him. They do it. We get one more scene where Hurley basically says, "Oh, whispers. 1 second, guys. I got to go see my new best friend, Michael." And he goes to hang out with the ghost of Michael, and Michael basically says, "Hey, guess what? I'm a ghost because I'm trapped here because I can't move on." And Hurley says, "Okay, sounds good. Can you help me?" And Michael says, "Sure." Locke's right over there.
Go there. Yeah.
By the way, if you ever see Libby again, tell her I'm really sorry about the time I murdered her in cold blood.
Fuck you, Michael. Fuck you.
Just one last fuck you for the road, eh? Ghost of Michael.
Fuck you, Ghost of Michael.
Yeah, I don't... Oh, I guess there's still more shit that happens, isn't there? God.
Well, Locke is hanging out with the boys, and then he says, "Desmond, come with me."
Yeah, that's right. Saeed brought Desmond to Locke, and Locke says, "Hey, guess what? Me and Desmond are hanging out now." And they fucking wander around and chat, and it's nonsense. It's nothing. A couple of things... a few things
I love
happen.
how it's gotten to this point where it's like, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
They walk through the woods. At one point, they see a boy, and Desmond's like,
"Who is the fucking boy?"
Yeah, right? Desmond says, "Who's the boy?" And Locke says, "Don't worry about it. End of scene."
Yeah.
Who fucking gives a goddamn shit about this
But
boy?
this boy you made up to
you
not tell us anything about.
Just a boy who arrives, and they're just like, "Whoa, a boy in the woods? What kind of a clue could this be?
What is going on?
This island is upside down and twisty-turvy.
It's upside down
A
and
boy arrives.
twisty-turny. Boy arrives.
Boy arrives.
Boy arrives.
Boy arrives.
Boy arrives.
When a boy arrives in the woods, it's scary, but nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. And then he's like, come on, we're going to a well.
We're going to a well. Let's go to a well, Desmond. And Locke says, gives him a little bit of history and says, way back in the day, way back in fucking old ass times, people came here and their compasses got wacky, and they were like, "What the hell is up with that?" So they dug, and they dug with their hands because they were dumbasses who didn't know how to do a shovel. But they dug with their hands,
which is sort of fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The idea that he's like, they dug with their hands, but it's like they came here on boats.
Yeah, they came here on
it's
boats,
not like
but
tools weren't invented. Unless John Locke is claiming that he is the original tool, which I would agree with.
Yeah, you've got me there, buddy, Mr. Locke. God, I also love the idea of this reality where the only tool is boat. They figured out boat and nothing else.
We have boats. Yeah, it's fucking weird. They dug with their hands.
They dug with their hands to try to find answers, and they didn't find what they were looking for, unfortunately, because they were old and dumbasses.
But they built this beautiful ass well. They cut stones and
they cut
laid them with like cement and shit.
With their hands.
With their hands.
They
didn't have
hands.
any shovels. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Just like in real life, I love to cut stones with my bare knuckles. And then he says, "Hey, Desmond, why aren't you afraid of me right now?" And Desmond says, "What's the point of being afraid?" And then Desmond throws himself down a well.
Locke throws Desmond in a well. Desmond isn't like, "What's the point of being afraid?" Jumps in well. That would be cooler, actually.
That would be good. That would be in character. Desmond's just kind of like, the whole time like they're talking, Desmond's just kind of like being like a chill weirdo. He's just kind of being like a stoic, like, well, I don't know about you, but this all happens for something, and do.
Doop-a-doo.
And it's just like, whatever. Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
Goddamn hell.
That's it. That's the episode, right?
Yeah, more tolerable than most season 6 episodes because of the amount of Hurley that we get to see. I do like Hurley being like thrust into a leadership position and trying to own it.
Yeah, it's sort of
That's
cool.
a fun like character development.
Yeah.
But again, most of it like when you have to cobble together a crew of Ricky, Miles, and Ben, you know you're really struggling to make something happen.
Boring, dumb, nothing real. Nothing is real.
A big explosion does happen. 2 big explosions do happen. The sideways stuff is fine. It's all right.
It's okay.
We could have gotten a much worse season 6 episode is all I'll say about that.
Okay.
And yeah, it's all right.
Everybody,
it's all right. It's just fine by me.
It's just fine by me.
Well, listen. One thing about the show Lost is it raises a lot of questions.
Do you have any answers?
I have a few questions and answers compiled by the fine folks at Lostpedia at their page questions_and_answers. Lapidisia. It's all about Frank Lapidus' history, life, and thing. We don't have many questions this week. Surprisingly, this is just a very tight episode that raises
no questions. Obviously,
clearly. But it does raise a few very critical questions that I think really just have to be addressed and documented. And I'd like to ask you, what do you think? What will the monster use the stick he's carving for? For context, the viewers, the first time we see Locke in this episode, he's carving a stick. Sawyer comes up and says, "What are you carving that stick for, dummy?" And Locke says,
"He'll use it as a spear to kill, or a walking stick
to smash the walkie-talkie Zoe will later give him." Sure.
Ew.
Great.
Oh.
That's why he's carving it.
That's disgusting. Okay.
That's why. That's what the writers of Lost planned when they started this scene.
What else do we have?
This is a little better. This is a little more substantial, but still wild. Why did Desmond run down Locke? I would love for your information.
To stop him in the other world, I guess, from becoming the smoke monster.
That, honestly, is a pretty good answer. That is not the truth. He wasn't trying to hurt Locke.
Fuck this. He hit him with his car very quickly. He was trying to hurt Locke.
Yeah, whether or not he was trying to,
Who writes this bullshit? These people are off the rails.
No, he wasn't trying to hurt Locke, but rather trying to help him let go. Yeah. You know.
I don't like this.
Listen. You may not like it, but it's just what the writers intended when they wrote that scene.
This
is the payoff.
I hate this show.
Well, listen, we have one more question that's maybe a little easier. It's self-implied. It's a self-implied question, which means that the answer came in the episode and it should be readily available to anybody who's not a total dunderhead. Why did the monster throw Desmond into the well? They keep referring to Locke as the monster exclusively, and sure, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think it's self-implied.
He felt threatened by Desmond and threw him in to trap him there.
That's not self-implied. That's not, especially
that's almost less than self-implied. That's just redundancy.
In a thing with so many red herrings and stuff too, you have the little boy. It's why was the little boy there? Oh, because the little boy felt threatened by John Locke. I don't know. It's so dumb.
It's very.
The show is dumb.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of you can enjoy about the show, still to this day. But seeing the quote unquote mystery just laid bare like this. This is the best that the greatest minds of Lost could cobble together with the scraps we were given.
It saddens me.
It's not good. It's not good. That's the episode. Listen, that may not have been the best episode of Lost we ever saw, but listen, we got lots more where that came from. So what do you say we hit up our favorite website, random.org?
I did the work. I went on random.org. Ready? I did 1 to 60.
Yeah.
And I got 58.
Fuck. We're still in season 6, eh? All right. Well, let me take a look. See, 58. Lord in heaven, I've got some bad news, dude. It's season 6, episode 15, Across the Sea. It's a Jacob episode.
It's a Jacob episode. Is this Jacob's one episode?
It's Jacob's lone episode, my man.
God. Okay. I guess this could be ostensibly interesting.
It's definitely... we're just going to have to wait and see, I guess. I could not tell you whether this is a good episode of television. It's probably not a good episode of television. I hope it's fun bad.
Could be okay.
I hope it's fun bad and not insufferable bad.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see next time. That's the episode of the show called The Island Shuffle. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. You can follow me on Twitter at Barrier Trio. You can follow James Brown on Twitter at James Brown. You can also find his endeavors at jamesbrown.space. You can also find James Brown's other podcast, Lovable Favorites, which he does with friend Jack Bielli. It's about to wrap up its second season.
We're recording the season finale in 2 days.
Oh my gosh! And is it going up? I think it's going up.
Going up like immediately. Yeah, it will be up by the time that this is released.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's
okay. So we got 2 whole seasons in the books. Check it out.
I gotta say, for those of you who aren't aware, the premise is Jack and James pull prompts out of a hat and then write fan fiction based on those prompts. And I gotta tell you, you guys have really brought your serialized storytelling game to another level on this season. Yeah,
it's gotten ridiculous.
Season 2 really ups the ante, and I'm just excited to see it all add up to something.
Me too. I have to write a story.
I cannot wait. Do check out Lovable Favorites. It's genuinely hilarious. You can follow the podcast on Facebook.com/The Island Shuffle or Twitter.com/Island Shuffle. That's where you can find all our social media shenanigans. If you like us, give us a rating or a review on your pod service of choice. Any bit of exposure helps. Lastly, we would like to give a shout out to the Noisepace.xyz network, as we always do. Thanks to Matt for hosting us there, and thanks to all the other podcasts there that are good, like Middlebrow Madness and City Girls Make Do, and My Pod Cabbages and Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, and Giants Confirmed. And others that haven't updated in a while, but they're all good too. Check them out. They're good. I like them. Good podcast network. Happy to be on it. Thrilled to be on it.
Thrilled.
Thrilled to be on it.
Thrilled.
And that is what we call the podcast. And
thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Yes, we owe you our lives. And
happy Weed Day.
Honestly, happy Weed Day, one and all. And like we say at the end of every episode of this podcast, we say it in unison and we say it loud and proud and we say, get